Tanjiro clenched his teeth. I won't let you touch him. Or anyone. For a moment, Muzan simply stared at him, as if amused by a child's defiance. Bold words for someone without a weapon, he said. Tanjiro inhaled deeply sun-breathing patterns flickering through his memory. His body wasn't fully developed, but he could still draw upon that rhythm, that warmth. His lungs expanded, heat spreading through his limbs. His stance shifted instinctively. Muzan's eyes widened slightly. Surprised. Interesting. You've learned something you shouldn't have at this age. Tanjiro didn't answer. His focus sharpened to a point. He knew he had no real chance of defeating Muzan today. But he had to survive long enough to protect the hunter behind him and the anomaly demon at his side. Before anyone could move, the unstable demon suddenly grabbed Tanjiro's arm. Its grip was cold but firm, desperate. Listen, it whispered quickly, its voice trembling. If he destroys me, the timeline stabilizes around him. He becomes the center of the distortion. You must not let that happen. Tanjiro stared at it, shocked. What do you want me to do? The demon's eyes shifted violently between red and blue. Run, and take me with you. As long as I live, the distortion stays divided. Muzan's expression darkened. Enough. Without warning, Muzan vanished. Tanjiro barely had time to react. Instinct screamed louder than thought. He grabbed the unnamed demon by the wrist, spun around, and leaped backward just as Muzan reappeared where they had been standing, his hand slicing through the air like a blade. Snow exploded around him. Muzan's eyes narrowed with irritation. Annoying child, Tanjiro landed hard, sliding across the snow, pulling the unstable demon with him. The forest seemed to warp around Muzan's movements. He stepped forward once and the distance between them vanished. Tanjiro's breath caught. Muzan was already in front of him, hand raised for the kill. Tanjiro inhaled sharply, bracing for impact. And at that exact moment, the unstable demon erupted in a pulse of unstable energy, its eyes flashing wildly. The distortion warped like ripples in water. Time itself seemed to stutter. Muzan hissed and stepped back, momentarily disrupted by the sudden fluctuation. Go, the demon screamed. While he's off balance, Tanjiro didn't hesitate. He grabbed the demon and sprinted into the forest, heart pounding, lungs burning, knowing full well that escaping Muzan would not be easy. But today, for the first time in this rewritten world, Muzan had not been the one in control. Today, the timeline itself had fought back. The moment Tanjiro sensed Muzan's presence fully, a crushing pressure filled the forest. It wasn't bloodlust. This was something colder, more calculated. Like the air had been replaced with invisible blades. The demon born from the fracture stiffened, his eyes trembling with a fear that didn't belong to a creature of the night. Tanjiro could almost hear his heartbeat struggling to continue existing. Muzan stepped out from behind the trees, pristine and composed, dressed as if he had walked out of a peaceful evening stroll. His expression, however, was unreadable, the kind of face that hid intentions deeper than any abyss. His eyes moved from Tanjiro to the anomaly, and in that instant, Tanjiro felt the world shrink. Muzan had noticed everything. I see, Muzan murmured, voice low and almost gentle. So this is the disturbance I felt. A demon without lineage, a creature that shouldn't exist. His tone wasn't angry. It was fascinated. That made it worse. The fractured demon trembled, but forced himself to stand firm. Don't come any closer. Muzan smiled softly, a smile that did not reach his eyes. You speak as if you have a choice in the matter. Tanjiro moved forward immediately, placing himself between them, Nichirin blade drawn. Stay away from him. Muzan raised an eyebrow, surprised but amused. Kamedo, Tanjiro. Even in this altered timeline, you insist on defying inevitability. Tanjiro tightened his grip. He didn't have the luxury to tremble. Any hesitation here would cost lives. He hasn't hurt anyone. He just wants to exist without becoming a monster. Exist, Muzan repeated, as if tasting the word. He is an error, a symptom of a breach in the natural order. You should know better than anyone that anything born from instability is fundamentally dangerous. The fractured demon lowered his head, shame and fear mixing in his voice. He's right. I don't belong here. Tanjiro didn't flinch. Even so, I decide who is worth saving, not you. Muzan's gaze sharpened for the first time. How bold, how naive. You cling to morality as if time itself isn't tearing apart because of you. His eyes shifted toward the anomaly, analyzing him with an intensity that made Tanjiro's skin crawl. And you, I can feel it. A body that isn't bound by demon biology. No curse, no memories, no origin, pure potential waiting to be carved. The demon took a step back, terrified. Don't touch me. Muzan's smile widened, not kind, but hungry. Oh, I will do more than touch you. I will refine you, perfect you. You are the closest thing to a blank slate this world has ever produced. Tanjiro's heart raced. If Muzan absorbed this being or twisted him, it could create something far worse than an upper rank, something without limits. You won't lay a hand on him, Tanjiro said, voice steady despite the dread. Muzan turned to him slowly. And what do you plan to do? Fight me? Tanjiro didn't answer with words. He took his stance. For a moment, Muzan simply watched him. Then he spoke with a quiet, almost disappointed tone. You are not ready. Not yet. Even with memories that don't belong to this timeline, you are still incomplete. His eyes narrowed. But I can't allow this creature to wander freely. His existence threatens mine. Tanjiro felt the fractured demon clutch the back of his Haori, trembling. Please, don't let him take me. Tanjiro exhaled slowly. He knew he couldn't defeat Muzan here, not alone, not without preparation, not with a timeline already spiraling. But he could interrupt his plans. Then run, Tanjiro whispered. The demon stared at him. What? Run. Now. He will catch me. Not if I distract him. Muzan sighed, irritated. You are forcing my hand. And in the blink of an eye, he moved. Tanjiro swung instinctively, sparks of crimson and black clashing with Muzan's pale arm. The impact sent him sliding across the snow, feet burning, lungs shaking. Muzan didn't even look strained. You're delaying the inevitable, Tanjiro. You cannot protect him. You cannot protect anyone if the timeline continues unraveling. The demon fled into the forest, stumbling at first, then vanishing into the shadows. Muzan turned sharply. Tanjiro moved again, blocking his path, blade trembling but held steady. You'll have to go through me. Muzan's expression finally shifted annoyance, breaking through his perfect composure. Very well. I will remember that. He struck. Tanjiro braced himself, ready to die if he had to, but before Muzan's claws touched him, a distant whistle cut through the forest. A Nichiren blade, a scent of wind and sweat. Reinforcements. Muzan clicked his tongue. Persistent pests. And before Tanjiro could blink, Muzan dissolved into the shadows, leaving the forest silent once more. Tanjiro collapsed to one knee, chest heaving. He had delayed Muzan but not defeated him. Somewhere in the forest, the anomaly was running for his life, and now Muzan knew he existed. The timeline had already gone too far. Tanjiro forced himself to stand, even though every muscle in his body screamed from the clash with Muzan. His breathing was uneven, not from wounds, but from the shock of facing the Demon King so earlier than in his first life. This wasn't supposed to happen now. Muzan should have remained a shadow, unseen and unreachable, until much later. But Tanjiro had changed too many things. The timeline was bending, trying to correct itself in ways he didn't understand. And the demon born from the fracture was somewhere out there, terrified and alone. A rustling in the trees made Tanjiro grip his blade again, but the scent that reached him wasn't Muzan's. It was familiar fresh wind, clean earth, and a sharp presence of discipline. A tall figure stepped out between the snow-covered branches. A man with long hair held in a loose tail. Eyes calm yet cold, posture precise and rigid. Tanjiro, the man said, his voice cutting through the silence like a blade. What happened here? Tanjiro immediately recognized him, Sabito, but he stopped himself. Sabito was alive in this timeline, not a spirit, not a memory, a real person. Sabito examined the area without looking at Tanjiro, noting the deep slash marks in the snow. The trees split cleanly at their bases, and the overwhelming scent of malevolence still lingering in the air. There was a demon here, Sabito said. A strong one. You fought it. Tanjiro hesitated. He couldn't tell Sabito everything. Not yet. Even in this altered world, there were truths too dangerous to reveal. Yes, one of the strongest I've encountered. Sabito's eyes narrowed. You're trembling. Tanjiro tried to steady his breathing. I'm fine. No, you're not, Sabito replied flatly. You used footwork and breathing techniques beyond your level. Your lungs aren't prepared. Poor. Your body isn't old enough. He paused. You're pushing yourself toward death. Tanjiro looked down. In his first life, Sabito had died before he ever became a demon slayer. But here he was alive, vigilant, and already far more skilled than Tanjiro had been at his age. Tanjiro couldn't afford to look weak in front of him, but Sabito wasn't being harsh out of cruelty. His concern was buried under discipline. Sabito, someone important might be in danger. I had to act. Tanjiro clenched his fists. I couldn't let that demon fall into Muz. He caught himself. Too late. Sabito's expression sharpened instantly. Muzan, you said. Muzan. Tanjiro's heart dropped. I misspoke. You didn't. Sabito took a step closer, his presence overwhelming in its intensity. You said Muzan, not just a demon. Muzan Kibutsuji. How do you know that name? Tanjiro froze. He never should have said it. Not here, not now. But Sabito wasn't giving him space to retreat. Only a handful of Hashira know that name, Sabito continued. No one else. Certainly not a boy your age. His voice didn't rise. That made it worse. He was analyzing Tanjiro like an anomaly, just as Muzan had analyzed the fractured demon. Tanjiro's breathing quickened. Sabito, please. I can explain, but not now. Someone's life is at stake. Sabito stared at him for a long, suffocating moment. Then he exhaled slowly. Fine, but you and I will speak about this later. He turned toward the scent trail left by the anomaly. There's another demon nearby, weak, unstable, confused. We should eliminate it before it becomes a threat. No, Tanjiro said immediately. Sabito stopped. No, he's not like other demons. He hasn't hurt anyone. He's different. That doesn't matter, Sabito replied, tone eerily calm. A demon is a demon. If it exists, it kills. That is the law of nature. Tanjiro stepped in front of him. I won't let you kill him. Sabito's eyes narrowed again. You're protecting a demon. Tanjiro met his gaze without flinching. I'm protecting someone who didn't choose to exist. Someone who's scared. Sabito studied him with a silence so sharp it almost cut. You've changed, he said finally. Something in your eyes. It doesn't belong to a child. Tanjiro swallowed hard. There was no way to explain the truth without shattering everything. Sabito finally sighed, frustration hidden under discipline. Fine, I won't kill him. Tanjiro's shoulders loosened with relief. Thank you. But, Sabito continued, if he harms even one human, I won't hesitate. Tanjiro nodded. I understand. Sabito glanced at the broken trees again. Whoever you fought, it wasn't an ordinary demon. And if Muzan truly came here, then this timeline, he stopped himself, as if the thought itself was too absurd to entertain. No, that's impossible. Tanjiro looked away. Nothing is impossible anymore. Sabito sheathed his blade. Then we must move. If this demon you're protecting is running blindly, he'll be caught, or he'll do something irreversible. We have little time. Tanjiro nodded, determination returning to his eyes. They sprinted into the forest together, following the faint trace of fear and desperation that lingered in the cold air. The fractured demon was alone. Muzan was hunting, and the world itself felt like it was beginning to strain against the weight of Tanjiro's second life. There was no